Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for August 4th, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufo, would you call our next case, please?
In cause number 2018-0D0-3237, State of Texas versus Noel Cooley. Announcement of counsel, please.
Samantha Rock on behalf of the state. State's ready, Your Honor.
And Myrna Pages for Mr. Noel Coley. Ready, Your Honor.
Mr.
Carlos
Trejo,
Trejo, Probation Department.
thank you for coming back. And I believe we do have, Mr. Coley, do you have your camera? Are you able to turn on your video?
No, ma'am, I was having trouble with Zoom.
So, it just seems like everybody is telling me the same thing. We're having a lot of trouble being in contact with you. Mr. Trejo, what violations do we have right now? Are there failures to report?
But it is a, we have a rearrest, Your Honor. Initially, yes, he had stopped reporting. Motion to revoke was filed with the KPS. So when the KPS was served, he was also arrested for a new charge, which is a criminal mischief, more than $100, less than $750. That's been filed out of CC2. So he was let out, Your Honor. He was reporting, he was out on bond. He tested positive on a drug test for alcohol. So the court had instructed him to obtain the portable unit to monitor the alcohol use. He's also attending EHN for mental health services. And one more thing, Judge, he was referred to drug and alcohol counseling. He had an assessment done with TAP. He was referred to OSAR because he has insurance. So with OSAR, Judge, I haven't been able to verify if he was ordered to do treatment or not because he did not sign a consent. According to Mr. Coley, he was told he did not have to go through the program. So I instructed him this week to go back to OSAR, sign the consent. I called this morning again, the counselor, he still hasn't done so. So I haven't been able to verify that part, Judge.
So where's your client living, Ms. Pages? I mean, doesn't sound like, at some point he was starting to work. That's how we're going to get the monitor. So now we're not compliant with the monitor. We're not compliant with mental health. We're not compliant with any kind of treatment. And we're having trouble staying in contact with him. Clearly, Mr. Coley at the very least needs structure before we go to penalty. What's going on with Mr. Coley?
Judge, I would like an opportunity to maybe have our social worker meet with him, see what's going on mentally. I think a lot of his issues may be that there's something that he may need, whether it's meds, adjustments. So if we could have an opportunity where Mr. Coley can meet with our social worker just to kind of explore that angle of it, Judge, because the last time when I spoke with him, he seemed to be doing well, but he does complain of memory problems. And I don't know if that has something to do with it, if it's his mental health, Judge.
Okay. I'm not real, how quickly, I guess, do you think you could, I agree that's the way to go, but I don't feel like a lot of time is what I'm willing to give. So my thought was to do an in-person hearing on Tuesday. I want to have eyes on Mr. Coley. I want to see between probation and the public defender's office. The recommendation on here, Mr. Trejo, is weekly reporting. I don't think the circumstances with Mr. Coley it's not going to mean anything to just maybe have him report more. I think we need to really explore structure. And I don't know where he's living. I don't know how he's going to do anything. I mean, he's not going to be able to comply at all he doesn't have money for a monitor, things like that. So we're going to do an in-person hearing on Tuesday, Ms. Pages. Let's see what your office can come up with. Maybe if you put kind of an expedited request, we have him on the phone now. I don't know how they can maybe get something going there. In any event,
I will submit a referral right now. And so Tuesday, at what time, Judge?
at 11 a.m. Mr. Coley, you need to immediately contact your attorney. Everybody is telling me they're having a lot of difficulty contacting you. And somehow, you know, I don't know how you made it today, but when we finished with your case earlier, I was ready to issue a bench warrant. I'm not trying to put you in jail, but you are really not complying at this point. So both your attorney and probation have had difficulty. You need to get with your attorney immediately. We are going to be back in person in the courthouse, in this courtroom at 11 a.m. on Tuesday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Pages, please get your client on track and see for Tuesday what we have. Mr. Trejo, thank you for logging in again. I don't have a problem if Carla can cover it on Tuesday, that's fine by me, but if you can be here, great.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Trejo.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right,
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who's next?
In cause number 2019-0D0, 3307 and 2019-0D03100, State of Texas versus Michael Huerta. Announcement of council, please.
Samantha Rock on behalf of the state. State's ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Huerta, are you there? You're muted.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay, and Mr. Huerta is appearing remotely as well. We are scheduled for probation status hearings on both these cases. Ms. Guerra, are you covering this? Are you here? Carla, were you able to make contact with Ms. Guerra?
I sent her a message, Judge.
So we have, in terms of the probation status, Mr. Huerta, let's see, was probated back in 2019, picks up a newer case, 2021. The testing, what I wanted to know, which is why I wanted Ms. Guerra here, is to find out about this device. He goes to get tested. We've had some issues with your testing, Mr. Huerta. Don't say anything yet, but probation is reporting that you showed up to the lab to provide a UA, and you had a tampering device. And then you failed to provide a test. You left. I think there was a previous time also where you had failed to test, if I'm not mistaken. So July 28, invalid, client had tampering device. You tested in June, you were negative. In May, invalid, you were unable to provide a sample. In May, again, the previous day, invalid, you had one temp because you arrived late. Is this the entire history, Carla?
I apologize, Judge. Let me see if I can find another email with more information, because Ms. Guerra doesn't respond, so I'm not sure.
Where are you living, Mr. Huerta?
Right in Wallenstein from hotel to hotel, but my caseworker, they just got me an apartment, so they're looking for an apartment for me as we speak right now. I should be in house. I was waiting for housing, that's why. So, but they already approved the housing, and they're looking for an apartment right now for me.
And you've provided all that information to your probation officer because they went to look for you on the 15th of July at a
Yes,
hotel and you weren't there.
Yes, man, it's because sometimes I have money to pay for the what's it called, for the hotel. Sometimes I don't, because I do side work, you know what I mean? Do side jobs, because I'm waiting for my social. I don't know if she put that in the report, but I was waiting for my social security, my disability. That's what I've been waiting for, you know what I mean?
Your Honor, if I may,
Mhm.
so Mr. Huerta, last year, May 10th, 2021, he was modified to BHRTC.
Mhm.
He was extended because he had outstanding restitution.
Mhm.
And
Is this part of that email chain, Carla?
yes, that's what I'm sorry. I apologize. I did not prepare because I thought I had Miss Guerra to cover it. I know Miss Guerra is with the MHI caseload, so I'm trying to log on, Judge, to get the case going, but I'm
So
assuming
based-
that after he completed with BHRTC and the aftercare part of it, he was possibly screened and qualified for MHI caseload because Miss Guerra is from a MHI caseload. But I do see the issues with the drug testing, Judge.
Right, and I think I was looking at the case summary, the most recent and what to me looks like the most complete case summary. And then now going back to the email chain, I feel like the reason let's see, going from September 21 all the way to July, I think I was not inclined to extend him, which is why I wanted an update on his status. Because if, at least up until that point, the only thing we really knew of was the outstanding restitution. There was not any of these issues, but now we have testing and, tampering devices being taken to testing. Don't tell me anything yet, Mr.
Sorry about that. Yes, ma'am.
I want to know because there's not a lot of detail how that was confirmed, because it says he had it. Go back to the other report. There's two reports here. Says he showed up and was found to have a tampering device. The lab technician requested to be turned over. However, he denied having it. So who saw it? What was it? I mean, I don't really know. And there's no recommendation on this report. Let me go back to the other. Yeah, there's no recommendation here either. Does anything you see, Carla, reflect a recommendation?
No, Your Honor, I'm trying to kind of skim through the contacts. I can't open everything in detail because then it'll go really slow, but recent entries from the past month, he hasn't picked up medication. What else?
I'll be with you in just a second, Mr. Huerta.
But I don't see anything as far as recommendations, Judge. I'm trying to email to see if somebody that's familiar with the case, if somebody else is familiar, they could log on, but I just don't know if Ms. Lucinda's there or not.
Okay, Mr. Huerta.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Your Honor. The issue is that they never found no tampering device. The gentleman told me to raise down my pants all the way to my ankles. He said I had a tampering device, but he didn't, I didn't have nothing. And I told him, like, I nearly took off my pants in front of him. I don't know why he said I had a tampering device, but he didn't confiscate nothing from me. He didn't, you know what I mean? He didn't see nothing, but, he says that he did, but I know he didn't, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe if you would, I had asked Miss Lucinda, Miss Guerra, if she could maybe change it to swab, because like the guy stands kind of close to me and like I felt uncomfortable just with the UA thing. So I was thinking maybe if you could switch me to swab, but like that's like the only issue that I had really, because the gentleman really like me and him have had issues in the past, you know what I mean? And like I don't know if he's just upset with me or what, but like that's the only issues that I've had with him, you know what I mean? Like it's that same guy that keeps on giving me the drug test, because when the other guys give me the drug test, I know there's no issues, you know what I mean? But it's that gentleman, the one that's just, it gives me problems all the time. I don't know why. But other
Hold
than that,
on.
like,
Okay, hold on, Mr. Huerta. Ms. Guerra is here now. Ms. Guerra.
I apologize, Judge. Yeah, Mr. Huerta, the tampering device, when I called the lab, they said that they saw a tampering device, and when they asked him to give the tampering device to them, he denied it and then just pulled up his pants. So they attempted to give him a second chance to provide, and they asked him to wait in the lobby for 30 minutes, but he left before the second attempt. So they were not able to confiscate the tampering device. When I asked Mr. Huerta about it, he said that he disclosed to them that he was exposed to COVID. So they told him to leave the facility and go get tested. So when I asked the technician, he said he never disclosed to us that he was exposed to COVID.
So, Mr. Huerta, you don't have set hours of employment? I'm sorry, you're muted.
I do side work. You know what I mean? That's what right now, that's what I've been like living off of, just side work.
Do you
I've
have
been attending.
dependents, kids?
Yes, I have 2 kids, but right now they're in the care of my mother. Because you know what I mean? That's why I'm in the other courtroom right now. I'm kind of going like through a custody battle.
Ms. Guerra, what's your recommendation?
Judge, if I could ask, I did hear Mr. Huerta say that it's the same gentleman that he may have an issue with at the lab.
Yes, sir.
So I'm looking at the results, and it looks like there's somebody different every time. I mean, there may be 2 that I see already where there's been the same male. There's
Just
different
Ruben.
males that are collecting the UA.
Yeah, his name's Ruben, but when I have the other gentleman, there's no issues, you know what I mean?
We have another invalid on 5/19, and Francisco Aragon collected that one.
Yeah, because I went like at the end of the day, and then he was just like,
So look,
yeah, see right now.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Huerta, I really don't want to hear the rest of that. Ms.
Okay.
Guerra, what is the recommendation from probation?
Judge, if we could get him screened for residential treatment, based on that, the tampering device and the invalids with the at the lab.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna screen you for residential treatment. Let's get him tested again. And there's a 5-day jail commitment for the tampering device. I don't care if he does work release, weekends, but it has to be completed within 30 days. We're gonna come back in 30 days, Ms. Guerra, to check the status of the screening, see if we have an appropriate plan. Please continue to test him.
How often would you want him, weekly or?
I think weekly is fine. Well, but how much does that cost? How much is each test?
I can ask the department to waive the fee.
Okay, let's do that then.
Weekly.
Mr. Huerta, you are being summoned for your family law case. And so I know, get with Ms. Guerra. She has instruction from the court and we're gonna come back in 30 days. I feel
Okay.
comfortable saying that before we hit these testing issues, that I was probably on the less strict end on your probation, okay? But we're seeing a lot of hiccups here, and those are a lot of red flags.
Okay, yes,
I
ma'am.
don't want to go down the road, Mr. Huerta, where we keep having violation after violation and ultimately we revoke you. It sounds
Yes,
like you're
ma'am.
working through a lot, but I'm not gonna put up with this, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a guy over here at the testing place, make it work. Okay,
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Guerra is
Yes,
there
ma'am.
to assist you with whatever you need. And Ms. Guerra, if you need something before that hearing, let me know.
Thank
Go
you.
to your family hearing. We'll see you in 30 days.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Garcia.